Friends, I'm out here in the corner of Devon and Campbell. As I look across the street to the second story of the building, to my right, the fish corner, which offers the best collection of imported freshwater frozen fish, seafood, and groceries. On the other side, you find a hair studio, an auto licensing shop, the East Trading Incorporated Company, and other businesses. On the other side, we have Reza.com, a well-known mobile phone provider, and several electronics and appliances stores across the way. These are part of what make this street so special. But businesses are only as good and strong as their people. People always make places. And that's why Devon is such a special place. It's important to note that Devon Avenue was not always called Devon Avenue. It started life as Beach Road. An Edgewater developer in the late 19th century decided to rename it after something else. What's that, you say? He was rather fond of a mainline station outside of Philadelphia called Devon. And there you have it. We have Devon Avenue. In other parts of the United States, it's a shorthand for saying you're going to a place with tremendous cultural diversity where you can hear a number of languages on the street and you're guaranteed to learn a little something new. As you walk up and down Devon Avenue from Kedzie all the way to Ridge, you'll see a variety of small businesses populated with a tremendous diversity of people. Over the past 60 years, new arrivals from India, Pakistan, Russia, and other countries have really combined to make this a tremendously diverse section of Chicago. To walk up and down the street, to hear the different languages, to browse the stores, is really a way to think about why this is such an important place in the city's history, past, present, and the future. Friends, what do you think of when you think of a religious organization in your community? Maybe a place to meet new neighbors, maybe a place to go for religious services, and maybe it's a place for other things like daycare, English language classes, and so on. Today I'm standing here with you at the corner of Ridge and Devon in front of the Blessed Aloysius Stepaniak's mission. Now, this is not the original name of this church. The actual original name was the St. Henry's Church. The cornerstone for the building was laid down by Archbishop Quigley, and the original parish members were predominantly local community members who had originally come from Luxembourg. There was a small concentration around this particular part of Chicago, and they wanted a place where they could worship in their own fashion. So, when the church opened in 1905, it remained an important community center for them. Over the next 115 years, the church continued to grow and change, as did the local residents along this part of Devon Avenue. By the 1970s, a number of Croatian immigrants had moved nearby, and they are the next group to take over the stewardship of this remarkable building. Over the past 40-some years, they have continued to grow a number of community programs to serve their community and the surrounding area. So here we are in the St. Henry Cemetery over here on right here on Devon near Ridge. Interesting little, you think about Chicago cemeteries, people think of Graceland, think of Oakwoods. Probably don't think of this tiny one over here, but it has kind of an interesting connection with Chicago history, both in terms of candy and products that became globally famous. You have the burial stone of Robert Muno Bruckheim. Bruckheim was a little boy who was the grandson of the Ruckheim brothers who created Cracker Jacks, which was introduced at the Columbian Exposition, though some people debate that as well too. And he was served as the inspiration for Sailor Jack. So he's the little boy with his little dog who appeared to this day on the packaging of Cracker Jacks, which is, you think about it, here is this another kind of wrinkle of Chicago's immigrant story. German immigrants and the Ruckheim brothers' grandson who appears on the label today with his tiny dog. Though I'm still annoyed that now you open Cracker Jacks, you get like a QR code. You don't get an actual physical thing. So, right, I guess that's why you get kids online early and often. They take their phone or they take their parents' phone and look for an online game. So, if you choose to come by, pay your respects. I don't know if you're probably not allowed to pour out Cracker Jacks on here, but come by, take a look. St. Henry Cemetery. Interesting enough, a little side note too, some culinary historians consider it the first junk food. So I don't know if that's a thing necessarily to be celebrated, but I'm a fan of Cracker Jack, so if you get the chance, maybe come out, pay a little junk food pilgrimage here to this assemblage of molasses and peanuts and popcorn. There you have it. Robert Ruckheim, rest easy. Friends, next we're going to head west on Devon Avenue to stop by Satina World Market. It's one of the many grocery stores along Devon Avenue that are both a place for food and community nourishment. Friends, I'm here at the corner of Devon and Hoyne. If you were to walk west of here, 2, 3, 4 blocks, you'd come across several dozens of grocery stores and places for community conversation, just like Satina World Market. They say they have 3 continents represented here, but you really could probably find stuff from all 6. Along with other grocery stores that dot up and down Devon Avenue, you'll find a range of different places that serve both for physical nourishment and also for people to come and commune, maybe share news, talk about a relative back in their country of origin, and also just to share ideas. It's a place to come together. A partial list of the things you might find at Satina Market is offered for passersby right here on the store. They include yams from Ghana, habanero peppers, potatoes, Solomon's bread, boga fish, smoked chicken, catfish, peak milk, broken rice, and in a concession to a local American favorite, there are a whole range of Little Debbie cakes. So really you have a vast range of experiences reflected on the shelves of this amazing store. Friends, next we're going to head on Devon Avenue to talk with the folks at Patel Brothers. Friends, what makes up a great street for you in Chicago? Perhaps your favorite block. Is it a coffee store, a bakery, a restaurant where you can dine outside? Maybe some other things. This block of Devon Avenue is probably one of the most diverse blocks you'll find anywhere in the city. You can buy a sari, there's a couple places to have your hair done, a place to have your nails done, there's a couple banks, and arguably the most well-known business on this block, and certainly one of the most well-known businesses in Chicago, is Patel Brothers, which was founded here in 1974. Over the past 45 years, they've branched out to include locations in Tampa, Chandler, Arizona, and all the way up to Norwalk, Connecticut. Walking down a couple aisles in Patel Brothers is like experiencing a small fraction of the type of foods you might find in India. You can find mango lassi mixes, chapati, and a wide range of frozen foods that you might only find here. It truly is a place where you can find a little bit of those experiences you might find in India. The culinary traditions represented here range across the entire country, and it's a place you want to come and visit, especially if you've never been here before, because you might find yourself coming back on a regular basis. Next, we're going to head a few blocks away over to California to visit the folks at Tel Aviv Kosher Pizza. All right, so we moved a little bit off of Devon. We're here in the 2700 block of California to talk a little bit about Tel Aviv Kosher Pizza. But we need to back up and tell you some other stories real quick. One of the more interesting aspects of Devon Avenue is the Jewish immigrants and new arrivals who've come both from Israel and also from other parts of the city of Chicago. As most people know, neighborhoods change and grow over time, and existing Jewish populations of Hyde Park, Albany Park, and North Lawndale have arrived over here over the last 50 to 60 years. Tel Aviv Kosher Pizza is one of the many businesses that does trade in food. As the name implies, the pizza is kosher. And you can go up and down Devon to find other kosher establishments as well. And it's certainly appropriate that here we are in an age, we hope, of interfaith collaboration, that the intersection of Devon and California is also the intersection of Golda Meir Boulevard and Mother Teresa Avenue. Next, we're going to head west on Devon to talk a little bit about Kornick and Berliner monuments. When you think of those shared human experiences that we all find ourselves part of, what are those things that matter? Birth, marriage, having children for some, a difficult move, and perhaps, of course, death. And certainly none of us can ever say we're fully or completely prepared for that experience. But certainly there are ways in which we can find a way, before we pass on, to think about how we will be remembered, how we will be commemorated. Perhaps it's something modest. Perhaps it's something monumental. I'm standing right here on Devon, one of the most well-known places within the Jewish funereal tradition. And that is Kornick and Berliner monuments. They were founded in 1929, and over the past 91 years, they've created a set of services and tradition that reflect the broad range of experience within the Jewish community. And they are certainly one of the crucial businesses on this stretch of Devon Avenue. Now, we've seen a lot on this tour. We've thought about how foodways reflect a region's diverse cultural history, and Devon Avenue is a place rich in those traditions. We've also stopped by a Croatian church. We've gathered for a moment at Patel Brothers. We've also seen a variety of other institutions along the way on this tour. If there is one thing that ties them together, is it a sense that this part of Chicago is always going to be a place in transition, and hopefully a place that will welcome people from all over the world. And with keeping in tradition, I'd like to share a little haiku that I came up as I went along, as I began to think about some of the things that I saw with you today. Devon, you're so magic. Masala Kugel, I see. There's more. Keep walking.